All right, ladies and gentlemen. I have to adjust my mic again because it doesn't want to stay in the filter, doesn't want to stay, pop filter doesn't want to stay in the right direction. But yo, peoples, QShoe92 here, and welcome back to yet another No Man's Sky update. Now, this patch went live earlier this morning. I was expecting this patch to go live at like 12 or something, but it turns out that it went live a lot earlier than expected. So let me just go ahead and get chat in here so that way I can full screen this and then we can look through this together. All right, there it is. Okay, so let me full screen this page. No Man's Sky Waypoint. And I wasn't expecting a big major update to happen the same day as the Switch release, but this also is something that apparently hit news yesterday, but I didn't look into the details because I wanted to do a deep dive into the patch notes right now. So, No Man's Sky Waypoint. Waypoint introducing update 4.0. Can I also say something? How this whole indie dev team, basically has released 21 expansions for this game and has not asked for a single dollar towards it at all. They've been making this just out of either their own pockets, or they've just been making it of their own free will, and has not asked any of the players to fork over any money in order to have these expansions. They've just been giving it to players for free for the past 6 years. And it's crazy how this game has had one of the biggest underdog comeback stories on how it went from being the worst of 2016 to being a game that people really favor all the way in 2022. And it just keeps getting better and it keeps getting larger. So let's go ahead and get started with this. Waypoint introducing Update 4.0. Now, if you can see off to the side here, we got a lot to cover. Access the universe of No Man's Sky from anywhere in Update 4.0 Waypoint. Launching for the first time on a Nintendo Switch and overhauling fundamental elements of gameplay, including game modes, inventory size and usability, milestones, journey cataloging, and more. And as you can see here, we got the update trailer for Waypoint, but you guys can watch that on your own time because last time I tried to have that going, it messed with the sound, and plus it kind of made things run a little bit slow. So I'll watch it later. You guys can watch it on your own time. What's important are the patch notes. Custom game modes. Tailor every aspect of the game to your unique playstyles with custom game modes. Launch into the action quickly with an existing difficulty preset, or tinker with everything from economy to combat challenge to survival difficulty to perfect your experience. Now, I looked through this list, and there's a lot of things you can mess with to give yourself infinite health, infinite sprinting, make it so that technology damage doesn't happen. You can make it so that enemy strength is weak. So if you just want to wipe out wave upon wave of sentinels, you can bump that down. You can make it so that you can't die at all. You can make it so that purchases are free, because right here at crafting and items, you can see you can make it so that anything you purchase in your game is basically free. I didn't realize this until after I spent several million units, about 75 million units on different inventory slots, and there was pain afterwards because I saved over my save. So I'm less rich than I used to be. I used to have 1 billion units, but those are gone. But well, I turned that on so that way my purchases are basically free now. And it doesn't say that it impacts your trophy progress because I didn't get any sort of notification concerning that. But there's a lot of settings. You can make it so that, you can make it so that things are more intense, like you're always getting bombarded with pirates trying to, run up on you and steal your goods and stuff. Or you can make it so that it rarely happens and make it so that animals are either passive or defensive. That cough always tries to sneak up on me. There's a lot of things you can just tailor for your custom game modes to make it your ideal No Man's Sky experience. Seamless autosaves. A new continual autosaving system allows you to fully immerse yourself into the journey without ever needing to think about saving your progress. Manual saves remain, giving you full control when needed. Then we got Trade Rocket. Load and launch a personal trade rocket to automatically sell items on the Galactic Trade Network. Summon the device from anywhere on a planetary surface. Then fire it off to the local space station for profit. So if you want to make money, just send off a rocket, and you get paid that way. And this is how it looks. Interesting, very interesting. Inventory visuals. And as you can see here, the inventory has changed. It's no longer different tabs that you have to go over to in order to expand. It's all in one spot now. So you got your technology space on the top here, and you have your cargo space down here. Now, the thing that popped up for me is you can't expand your space massively for technology. There's only so much space that you can have for certain things. Like, it shows all these upgrades, and I have a lot of upgrades for my warp drive and maneuverability for my ship, but the amount of space you can have for technology on your ship is finite. So I only had enough space to put the positron on there and the infraknife accelerator, but it doesn't leave you much room for much else. Inventory visuals. The inventory has been visually overhauled with new slot designs, backgrounds, icons, and more. Item management has been streamlined with technology and cargo slots now accessible from a single view. And of course, we have the Nintendo Switch notes. Begin your journey from anywhere on Nintendo Switch. Play while on the go in handheld mode, or dock the system to play in TV mode. The portable experience is further enhanced with responsive touch controls, and all modes support Joy-Con and Pro controllers. So now you Switch users get to enjoy what we do. Now for the PC users. AMD Fidelity FX 2.0. AMD Fidelity FX Super Resolution 2 FSR2 is a cutting-edge open-source temporal upscaling solution, providing high-end image quality and improved frame rates. All PC players, including those running integrated graphics, can enjoy the increased performance from this new technology regardless of their graphics card. So from right here, you can see this is how it looks with FSR 2.0 off. And this is how it looks with FSR 2.0 on at 60 frames. Can't notice a difference because it's a still image. And then it just gives you like the specs and shows you what the AMD Radeon RX Vega 56 4K high preset does versus like the regular settings. I don't know anything about all these PC settings because I'm not a PC player. So for you PC players, yeah, enjoy. Relaxed game mode. The new Relax preset provides an accessible, laid-back experience of No Man's Sky. If custom wasn't laid back enough as it is. Perfect for players who want to experience all facets of gameplay, from story to survival to combat with reduced danger and minimal grind. They actually added a mode that made it so you grinded less and you could enjoy the game more. Why can't other games that require you to grind have these options? We want people to be able to relax. So if they want to grind less, we have that preset for them. It's not hard. Why do looters and some games think that the only way to move forward is to increase grind rather than give people options to play? Normal, creative, survival, custom, and now relaxed. You can just chill. Unique Switch rewards. Early adopters on Nintendo Switch can claim a set of exclusive rewards from the Space Anomaly. Connect to the No Man's Sky servers on Switch before the 7th of November. Yeah, next month. To be eligible. I don't know where that accent came from. My apologies. November 7th of November in 2022 to be eligible to collect the Horizon Vector NX Starship and Infinite Neon Mark 10, 20, 22 multi-tool. So basically, these ships are patterned off of the classic Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons. Okay. That's fairly interesting. Space Anomaly Atmospherics. The bustling space anomaly feels deeper and more atmospheric with a total overhaul of visuals throughout the anomaly. Okay, so it looks even spookier when you're on there. Or at least, I wouldn't say foreboding, but it looks even more deep, I want to say. I want to say deep. Ooh, I like the looks of these asteroids. I haven't come across asteroids that look like this, though. Dynamic difficulty. Nearly all difficulty settings can be tweaked and adjusted at any time, so you can continue to refine your play experience during the journey. Players with existing saves can adjust their settings to take advantage of new survival challenges or the simplicity of relax mode, and continue to change back and forth as they wish. The power of choice. The freedom of choice. Giving absolute choice to your players so they can tailor the game to their liking, while also enjoying what the developers have made. That's peak. That's peak consumer. That's peak. What is it? Not consumerism, but that's peak consumer feedback. And pay attentioning. I cannot speak this morning. It's only 9:27. I haven't eaten breakfast yet. My bad. But that's peak levels of showing, hey, we want you to enjoy our game, but we also want you to be able to make it so that you enjoy it the way you want to. We're not going to force you to enjoy it the way we want to. We're giving you the choice to tailor it to how you want. I applaud them for that. Drop pods. Interacting with damaged drop pods on planetary surfaces will now generate a marker and guide mission to assist the repair process. Or you could just make it so that you don't use up any resources and circumnavigate this whole thing altogether to assist the repair process, allowing players to find their way back if they need to gather materials. Drop pods can now be found directly with exosuit upgrade charts rather than having to feed data into the signal booster. I need to find more exosuit upgrade charts so I can upgrade my exosuit for free. So I need to either try and see if I can figure out how to get multiples of these and stack them and then just look for them so I can expand my technology slots on my suit or something. I gotta find out how. Twitch campaign. Collect exotic in-game rewards by watching No Man's Sky on Twitch. Sign up and link your platform accounts on the Twitch Drops page. Then enjoy video streams of the Waypoint update to earn special ships, rare base parts, cosmetic customizations, and more. Items can be collected from the Quicksilver Synthesis Companion aboard the Space Anomaly. Now we go to the interesting part. Inventory redesign. Inventory specialization has been clarified. Upgrades are now confined to technology slots, which means that if you had a whole bunch of upgrades that attribute technology upgrades that you just had sitting in your cargo space, those won't work anymore. I found that out the hard way. I tried activating it and it only works in technology slots, and well, technology slots aren't as big as your cargo space, so I got a bunch of shield modules that I can't use because I don't have the space to put it in my technology slot. Hopefully, I can expand it at least half the size of my cargo space so I can then, put all my S, and I have all S-rank modules. So hopefully I can be able to expand that. Allowing more space for items and creating upgrades are now confined to technology slots, allowing more space for items and creating more interesting decisions about which upgrades to use. To accompany this, inventory capacity has been dramatically expanded, with storage increased across all inventories, from exosuits to freighters. Planetary visual effects. Ancient alien structures and beacons have been visually enhanced, with brand new effects materializing upon activation. I didn't notice that. That's a cool effect when you activate like a language stone here. I actually like that. Gives it like a more alien type feel when you use it. Yo, Jared, what is going on? We are going through the patch notes of No Man's Sky's brand new Waypoint update. But yeah, there's brand new visuals when you activate alien structures that gives more life to interacting with these things on the planet. Including from one of these little, These things, These usually didn't pop up the way they did before, but that's interesting. Story records. Piece together ancient stories and record a log of your journey with the new collected knowledge section of the catalog and guide. Historical fragments, alien lore, crucial story choices, and more will be automatically collated. Collated? Is collated a word? I don't even know. I'm learning new words every day. And recorded as you uncover the many secrets hidden throughout the universe. Inventory filters. Categories of inventory items can now be highlighted and quickly located using a set of filters, making it easier to organize your belongings. That's actually good, because if you get like a big inventory space, being able to rearrange and see priority stuff that you can sell or priority items that can be used for crafting is essential. Crafting trees. The detailed steps for crafting complex products can now be visualized as a tree, allowing explorers to collect and prepare subcomponents in advance. This ought to help people who are preparing the long haul for upgrades. They have an end goal, but they want to be able to see the in-between so they can prepare accordingly. Rare asteroids. Asteroid fields now contain a range of new, rare, and exotic variants. I haven't come across this, nor have I come across these types of asteroids. I wonder what type of materials they have in there. Milestone guidance. Journey milestones may now be pinned from the catalog and guide, providing helpful hints and tips to the mission log. I didn't look at everything when I was playing through No Man's Sky before I started the stream, so I got to look through all these different things. Also, real quick, I want to say that over on the side, when it comes to your standing, like for the Viking, the Gek, and the Korvax, there's a setting in difficulty options that will allow you to make it so that you can gain standing with the alien races faster instead of, at the standard speed that you normally could. Interesting. Very interesting. All right, let's continue on. And also, these screenshots look nice. They really do. I never noticed, but when it says environmental and atmospheric effects for the Anomaly, must mean like this mist that's just setting into certain rooms. Ease of use. A huge number of features has been added or enhanced to improve ease of use across the game. First-person head bob may now be disabled. The maximum number of communication station icons displayed at once has been reduced. Cursor control for players using a gamepad has been improved. Reticle targeting for interactions and wiring is now more forgiving and less fiddly. Survival challenges. Hardcore explorers can test their mettle in a new ramped-up survival mode, featuring a greater breadth and depth of challenges to overcome. In addition to quantitative balance settings such as fuel consumption and hazard intensity, explorers must take care to repair their technology from damage and rely on their own harvesting capabilities rather than shops to acquire key survival resources. So for you hardcore survival people out there, things got harder. Space visual effects. Holograms, teleporters, and space station tractor beams have all been given a fresh breath of life with new visual effects. And as you can see here with the first one, you have all the mist coming from the gate here. And then when it comes to the holograms, they have like those little effects coming off of them as well. It makes it more immersive. And then the tractor beam for the space stations, they're no longer just like rays of light. They have almost digitized kind of looks to them a little bit. Refreshed catalog and guide. Go ahead and load up the rest of that page for me. Thank you. The catalog, guide, and milestone pages have been completely reorganized for clarity and ease of use, decluttering the navigation tabs at the top of the pause menu, and with all information now accessible from a centralized hub. Like I said, I didn't look through the entire listing for the catalog and guide, so this will anything that streamlines an experience and makes it less cluttered and less complicated for players to have to interact with, yeah, that's a good thing. So things look like this, and it looks far less mind-numbing, I'd say. Okay. Yes, there we go. Medals. The celebratory rank medals for progression through faction and journey milestones have been made clearer and more visually diverse. Quality of life. Scanning with the analysis visor has been accelerated, making discovery, especially of fast-moving creatures, more efficient. Thank you. There's a lot of fast-moving birds out there, fast-moving flying creatures, so the ability to scan at high speeds, I applaud. Thank you. Movement upgrades for the jetpack have been made more powerful. Procedurally generated technology modules now stack in the inventory. Waypoints are now highlighted with an icon in the analysis visor. Traveler graves will now manifest memory fragments, offering important technology upgrades to aid living travelers on their journeys. Interesting. All right, onwards to the next part. I don't know why it's moving so slow right now. Refiner and cooking recipes. Let me hold on. Let me bring this out of full screen and let me figure out what's going on that's causing this to move slow on my end. Yeah, okay, there's too much. There's too much. Let me get rid of this page. Let me get rid of that page. Yeah, let me get rid of all these different web pages that is probably different tabs that is probably making everything run slow. All right. We ought to be better off. Let me exit out of this. Okay. We ought to be better. Yeah, ought to be better now. Okay. Refiner and cooking recipes. Recipes discovered through experimentation with the refiner and nutrient processors are now recorded for future reference. New faction milestones. The alien race and guild factions have issued a new set of challenges to explorers, encouraging a broader and deeper play experience. Technology packaging. Installed technologies may now be disassembled into convenient transferable packages. Stack them away in your inventory to install in a freshly acquired starship or multi-tool, or trade with friends to collect your dream loadout. That's actually good. So you can just disassemble them instead of just removing them completely from your inventory, so you can just put them in your backpack for later use. Or if you want to try out like a different build, you can just take out parts of a weapon you're not putting on your multi-tool or your ship, and then just switch it around as needed. Yo, Psycho, what's going on? We're going through the patch notes for No Man's Sky. I know it seems like it's moving really slow and fidgety, but I want to be able to get through everything. Dramatic Atlas interfaces. Encounters with the Atlas are now even more awe-inspiring with new visual effects. Save renaming. Save data can now be more easily differentiated with an automatic record of the save's location and the option to give the save a custom name. So now you can tell which file goes to what file, a fresh file, survival, and then you can name them as needed. Yeah, the web page is moving a little bit slow right now. And that's it for the main crux of the patch notes. So let's go through it all, and then we'll call it a session here for the patch notes. 4.0 patch notes, information portal. The guide, catalog, and milestones UI pages have been merged into one unified information portal and given a visual overhaul. The catalog has been divided into more fine-grained categories, allowing quicker access to information. A dedicated catalog has been added for gathering stories and information from planetary sites, such as monoliths, plaques, abandoned buildings, and more. A dedicated catalog has been added that records the story of your own journey across the galaxy as you complete missions. Specific catalog pages have been added to record language information gathered from various aliens met on your journey. Specific catalog pages have been added to record refiner recipes learned via experimenting with the various sized refiners available. I don't know why that was so tricky for me to get out. A specific catalog page has been added to record any cooking recipes learning from experimenting with the nutrient processor. Question Kyushu, it's for Neo 2. Can I put Purity on a weapon at the blacksmith, or is it just a rare drop? Effects on weapons are specific to that weapon. If a weapon drops that it is Purity, then it's only going to be, then you can't like remove it or put it on another weapon. If it's a Purity weapon, it will always drop as a Purity weapon. Same for yokai dark weapons, or weapons that have fire or poison or electricity on them. They will always drop with that element because it's specific to that type of weapon. Procedurally generated technology is now listed in the catalog. Guide pages can now be manually scrolled. New guide entries are now previewed on the main information portal. New milestones are now previewed on the main information portal. Key milestones are now previewed on the main information portal. The milestones page has been given a visual overhaul. The factions page has been given a visual overhaul. The medals awarded for faction and milestone progress has been improved. Milestones and medals can now be pinned as a mission, giving guidance on how to progress. A new range of faction medals have been added. The Extreme Survival Journey milestone has been reworked so it counts cumulative time spent in extreme environments, rather than the longest continual time spent in an extreme environment without dying. We still got a ways to go. New difficulty framework. All the core difficulty and other differences between the game modes has been reworked into a new framework that players can adjust as they see fit. All existing game modes have been retained as quick and easy presets and can be selected as before when starting a new game. Alternatively, players can now choose to create a custom game where all settings are fully customizable. Expedition and permadeath games will remain in their own pool for the purposes of matchmaking and base sharing. All other game modes has been unified so that players can explore together, whatever their difficulty preferences. An additional game mode has been added to this list. Relax Mode. Relax Mode is the full normal mode experience, but with significantly reduced need to manage survival systems and maintain technology and resources. Players wishing to make their existing games more challenging or take advantage of the new Relax Mode settings can customize difficulty options from the pause menu at any time. The vast majority of difficulty settings can be tweaked at any time in any mode. Some limited restrictions are imposed when wishing to play permadeath. Customizable difficulties options include the ability to disable life support and/or hazard protection management, the ability to customize the speed at which life support and hazard protection are depleted, the amount of material yielded when mining and harvesting, if sprinting is limited by life support drain and/or stamina, how fast the scanner recharges, how much damage players can take from combat or the environment, if technology takes damage when taking damage from combat or the environment, what consequences there are for death from none to permadeath, how much fuel various pieces of technology use, including in relaxed mode, the ability to have free use of ammo, the mining laser, and the terrain editor while still retaining general fueling mechanics. If crafting items is free, I made it free for my game. If the game is started with most recipes and blueprints already known, or if they must be earned. How much items and upgrades cost to buy or learn? I set mines to free, because who can argue with free? The range of items available in shops. How large item stack sizes can be within the inventory. How much health hostile ships, sentinels, and creatures have. How frequently, if at all, ground combat takes place. How frequently, if at all, space combat takes place. How hostile various planetary creatures are in their behavior. If the tutorial missions take place or not. If other inventories, such as the ship and freighter, are always in range or not. You can basically make it so that the range of which you can transport items from your ship and your freighter infinite. So you can just teleport all the things in your cargo to your freighter or your ship regardless of distance. So they really did think of all types of quality of life changes for No Man's Sky. That just makes your experience all the better. If specialized warp drive upgrades are required to enter specific systems. If bases and base equipment require power. So you can make it so you can power on your base without actually having power on at all. I completed a mission just by turning it on. How fast standing is gained with various factions. I mentioned that earlier. If the game starts with all squadron or companion slots pre-unlocked. Saving. The autosave system has been reworked. Instead of saving when getting out the ship, the game now autosaves silently and automatically during regular play. A full save is still made at all times the save was made before, including getting out of the ship. I just do that out of habit because that's all I've known for the past 6 years. Players may now rename their saves. The option is found in the main menu once the save has been loaded. The most recent player location is now displayed in the save summary. Visuals. No Man's Sky on PC now supports AMD Fidelity FX Super Resolution 2, a cutting-edge open-source temporal upscaling solution providing high image quality and improved frame rates. The visual variety of NPCs found aboard freighters has been increased. They didn't mention that up there before, but thank God for patch notes. The smoothness of third-person player movement on slopes has been significantly improved. The Fleet Command Room Freighter component has been visually overhauled and given new visual effects. New rare asteroid variations has been added to systems across the galaxy. The freighter hangar entrance effects has been significantly improved. The space station docking bay entrance effects have been significantly improved. Atmospheric effects across the entire space anomaly has had a visual overhaul. Visual atmospherics throughout the Atlas station has been significantly improved. The visual effects used when harvesting sodium, oxygen, and other small plants has been improved. The cave drip visual effect has been improved. The landing and ground hover effects for the living ship has been improved. The visual effects for plaques and word stones has been significantly improved. Inventory. Inventory pages has been given a visual overhaul, including new backgrounds and new item slot styles and backgrounds. Inventories, such as the ship, exosuit, freighter, etc., are no longer subdivided into multiple stages. Technology and cargo inventories are displayed together in one page. General inventories has been removed. Items and technology are now separated in their own inventories. All existing saves has been upgraded to combine their slots accordingly so that no items or unlocked slots has been lost. The maximum number of slots per inventory has been significantly increased, with 120 item slots and 60 technology slots now available. Inventory sections are now able to scroll to accommodate these increased sizes. Exocraft now make use of the technology inventory. Exocraft inventories has been generally expanded. Storage container and ingredient storage inventories has been significantly increased, up to 50 slots each. The cost of purchasing new slots has been generally reduced. Thank you, but I've already made it so that my purchases don't cost anything at all, so this is this is pretty much redundant for me. Players can now choose exactly which slot to unlock when purchasing new slots. It doesn't automatically choose for you. If you want to choose one slot that's all the way by itself in the deep right, bottom right corner, you can. Item inventories can now be filtered to highlight specific item types. Players can now adjust stack sizes and manually choose slots when arranging items inside storage or ingredient containers. When transferring items to another inventory via quick transfer, free space is now represented as the number of slots rather than item counts. Let me say that again. Free space is now represented as the number of slots rather than the item counts. When transferring items to storage containers via quick transfer, the item will be placed in a container that already contains other items of that type, rather than into the first available slot. Refunded items, such as fuel from refiners or frigate upgrades from canceled expeditions, can now be refunded into inventory with space, rather than only into specific inventories. They really did refine a lot. Oxygen and pure ferrite have had their icons updated. Salvage data has had its icon updated. Log encryption keys, factory override units, and salvage frigate modules has had their icons updated. Starship storage augmentations, cargo bulkheads, multi-tool expansion slots, and exosuit expansion units have had their icons updated. Drop pod coordinate data has been replaced with an exosuit upgrade chart that leads players directly to drop pods without having to use the signal booster. The charts can be found while exploring or purchased from a cartographer aboard the space station. I need to go to the cartographer aboard the space station because I need plenty of these exosuit upgrade charts. User interface and quality of life. All menu and option screens have received a visual overhaul. The mode select and save select screens have received a visual overhaul. Players may now construct a trade rocket upgrade for their exosuit. This allows the deployment of a personal rocket via the quick menu. Items loaded into the rocket and launch will be automatically sold. Players may now package up any installed technology into a deployable item, which can be archived in storage or redeployed to a new location. When crafting complex items, players can now view detailed interactive crafting steps, which will take them step by step through the entire tree of requirements and sub-requirements. The number of communication station icons displayed is now capped in areas that are dense with many messages. Interaction targeting has been improved so that nearby objects are highlighted without the need to aim at them precisely. Cursor control in menus has been improved for pad users, making it easier to select small buttons. Crafting products and installing technologies now both use the same button. Repairing interactions, such as clearing out substances from blocked terminals and abandoned buildings, now have more bespoke text and instructions that more closely match that specific interaction. Players can now disable first-person head bob effects from the main menu. A number of instances where inventory animations would snap rather than flow smoothly have been fixed. I know I read those two in the wrong order. My apologies. A number of instances where the cursor was being reset to the center of the screen during an interaction has been fixed. Item highlighting has improved during missions and pinned interactions, making it more clear which items need to be built, repaired, or installed. Pinned technology instructions will now correctly guide players to learn the relevant blueprint if they do not already know it. That's good. That's actually really, really good. Item highlighting hints have been expanded to the repair screen and craftable items list. Button prompts are now highlighted when a usable item such as a chart, geode, or procedural technology package is ready to use. The Quicksilver companion robot will now give advice on how to earn Quicksilver. Thank you! The signal booster now uses a fast-style interaction, making it quicker to find nearby buildings. And now, for the missions, and then afterwards is balance, base building, and then lastly bug fixes. So we're getting there. We're almost there. Missions! The base computer archives mission chain has been reworked to remove timers. The archives are now unlocked by decrypting its various passwords, achieved via learning new pieces of alien language. The rewards for the base computer archive mission chain has been improved. Missions involving the player's base now respond dynamically to the construction of new bases. When moving to a new system or building a new base, the mission system will attempt to locate the mission at the nearest appropriate base rather than whichever was closest at the time the mission began. New creative mode games start with a short and non-mandatory guidance mission to help orient new players. Mission details in the log page can now be manually scrolled. A procedurally generated mission is now activated when encountering a drop pod. This mission will mark the site and allow players to easily find their way back if they need to leave to gather repair materials. Or you can make it so that you don't use up any materials at all and Are we back on track? I know I dropped a couple of frames there for a second. I want to make sure that everything's good. Everything appears to be good. Okay, so I need to double back to where I was before. I need to double back. Let me go back 10 seconds to make sure. Apologies for the drop in the frames there, everybody. Okay. All right, so let me go back. So I was saying that if you basically set your crafting resources use to basically none at all, you don't need to worry about having to find your way back to a drop pod. The auto-generated crashed freighter dig site mission now marks individual sites so they can be returned to with ease. The vial spawn dropped from the vessel spawned at Titan Worm burrows can now be collected. I didn't even know that was a thing. Collecting vial spawn may yield the secrets of the worm cult who worship them. Vial spawn physics has been improved so they no longer roll away at high speeds. Vial spawn are now highlighted by the scanner and an analysis visor. Building waypoint beacons are now shown in the analysis visor. Text tips when changing your active mission or when new missions become available have been improved for clarity. The mission restart button that becomes available when mission targets are very distant has been improved for clarity. Mission board rewards have been generally improved so they are of higher value. Mission board rewards now more strongly correlate to the player's standing with the commissioning faction, with higher ranks earning better rewards. So more incentives to go for the higher echelon of faction ranks. Fixed an issue that could prevent mission boards from quickly presenting the mission hand-in page on their first interaction if the player had missions to hand in from another system. Fixed a number of rare blockers in the Armorer and Overseer mission chains. Fixed a number of instances where mission markers could be lost for core story objectives. I can see how that could be an issue. Fixed a number of mission issues that could cause the target sweep to fail to locate a building correctly. The mission icons for the living ship missions have been improved. Fixed an icon inconsistency in the Armorer missions. Fixed a number of text formatting inconsistencies across base NPC missions generally. Improved the message box that appears when interacting with an NPC terminal that has no specialist working available. Then we come to balance, base building, and then bug fixes. Once again, we are almost there. Balance. The analysis visor's base scanning speed has been significantly increased, making it faster to discover creatures, plants, and minerals. Sweet, the boss dropped me blessed dual swords. Awesome, Psycho! Happy that you're finding the weapons that you need. The amount of Quicksilver rewarded by standard Nexus missions, as well as special weekend event Nexus missions, has been increased. More incentive to do Quicksilver missions. In addition to nanites and portal rune knowledge, the grave sites of fallen travelers now offer memory fragments containing valuable technology. Interactions with travelers now generally give higher quality rewards and items. The list of additional substances that can be gathered from planetary rocks and flora after successfully analyzing them has been streamlined to avoid polluting inventories with small numbers of a wide range of items. The range of items awarded as scrap when salvaging a starship has been decreased to avoid unnecessarily polluting inventories and to make the salvaging process more streamlined. Deployable technology products of the same type now stack, reducing the inventory slots required while waiting for the right time to use them. The amount of oxygen harvested The amount of oxygen harvested from plants has been significantly increased. The amount of sodium harvested from plants has been significantly decreased, but sodium plants are now distributed more densely across planets. So they reduced how much sodium you get from plants, but they pretty much populated planets with more sodium to compensate. That's a good give and take there. The sell price of storm crystals has been increased, so if you're a storm crystal farmer, now's the time. The sell price of various raw materials gathered on planets have been decreased to reward the creation of more complex trade items via crafting. The purchase price of key survival materials in space station trade terminals has been increased. Extremely large mineral extractor arrays are now affected by diminishing returns, reducing the effectiveness of each additional unit over the cap. The potency of the oxygen recycler has been increased. The amount of time the fuel asteroids stay marked after a space scan has been adjusted. Teleporters can no longer be used to avoid danger while smuggling illegal goods. Creative mode games now start with a hyperdrive pre-installed. Thank you for new players. The time that Sentinels will continue to hunt wanted players now scales with general combat difficulty. So, if your combat difficulty is high, then they're going to be after you for a lot longer. Pretty sure that decreases as does when the difficulty decreases. More challenging game modes and difficulty settings now restrict the availability of key items at trade terminals, so that key survival items must be found or crafted instead of bought. Can't make things too easy on you survivalists out there. When using higher difficulty settings, the starship is significantly more expensive to summon than it is to launch while piloted, making the decision to summon rather than walk a more complex equation. On higher difficulty settings, technology can be broken when taking damage. When you take damage, not when you go through a black hole, when you take damage. The chance scales with shield strength, so that more fully shielded travelers are largely safe. But if you're not, yeah, you're going to be looking at repairing a lot. On all but the harshest settings, the base probability of technology breaking is very low. The damage technology is relevant to the type of damage received, so that, for example, extreme cold is more likely to break thermal hazard protection. Oh. I was just thinking in my mind, technology on your ship. It didn't dawn on me that technology on your exosuit applies to this as well. Sorry, I didn't think of that. Base building! Power cables and other wire placement has been improved so that wires snap more easily, reducing fiddliness when building power grids. I didn't even know that fiddliness? Fiddle? I said fiddledy. Fiddliness? Fiddliness. I didn't know that was a word. When building power grids, power cables and other wires are now more easy to highlight when using delete to remove base building objects. Power cable visual effects has been improved. Fixed a number of visual issues with power cable snap points. Fixed an issue that prevented plug sockets from appearing at the end of power cables. The build menu UIs now stay stable when placing power cables and other wires. In edit mode, the build menu now gives information about which part is currently being targeted. Hydroponic planters can now be placed freely without the need to snap to a structure. Freedom for base building. Fixed a snapping issue with the cuboid room frame. Fixed an issue that prevented players from picking up or editing already placed parts that happened to be near a landed starship. And then lastly, on to the bug fixes. And the bug fixes are not as long as it was in the last one, which means that they're probably refining it even more so that there's less. This list is far shorter than the endurance bug fix list. That's good. The bug fixes are becoming smaller. Bug fixes. Fixed a number of crashes related to memory management. Fixed a rare crash related, I don't know why I emphasized it that way, that's odd. Fixed a rare crash related to frigate expeditions. Fixed a rare issue that could cause mission critical objectives to become stuck inside volcanoes, because who doesn't love that to happen? Fixed a rare blocker that could occur when saving and reloading immediately after visiting the Atlas station in key story moments. Fixed an issue that caused the starship to judder when opening the inventory with the pulse drive active and the starship camera in third person. That is oddly specific, and they still fixed it. Fixed an issue that could prevent teleporters on derelict freighters from working correctly. Fixed a number of network and matchmaking issues. Boy, could Crystal Dynamics learn a thing or two from these people. Fixed a number of network synchronization issues affecting Sentinel drones. Fixed an issue that could cause thousands of Sentinels to spawn at a settlement during the Trace of Metal mission. Fixed an issue that could cause missions to incorrectly report their target as being in another system when their target was in fact the space anomaly. That just sounds funny to me. NPC navigation systems has been optimized. Fixed an issue that could cause phantom item alerts about new upgrade modules appearing when the inventory was full. Fixed an issue that could cause conventional mission messages and detailed mission message boxes to draw over the top of each other. Fixed an issue that caused ground collision in the starship to be incorrectly reported as exosuit damage. Fixed an issue that caused the incorrect number of required slots to be listed when attempting to salvage a starship without enough inventory space. Fixed an issue that could cause starship inventories to become corrupted when getting a ship that was in the process of being salvaged. Once again, a lot of these issues are oddly specific. Not oddly specific, but just incredibly specific. Like it had to be something so specific that they saw it once and decided to get rid of it. Because this isn't like fixed an issue that caused people to spawn under the map. That's something that they've basically fixed. That's something that can easily be fixed. But something like fixed an issue that caused the incorrect number of required slots to be listed when attempting to salvage a starship without enough inventory space, or fix an issue that could cause starship inventories to become corrupted when getting a ship that was in the process of being salvaged. That's specific, which means that they actually have a QA team. Man, indie devs out here doing AAA game work while AAA games are looking like they're fresh on the indie game. I don't know what it is. Fixed a rare issue that could prevent living frigates from making contact with the player. Fixed an issue that could cause freighter-based NPCs to claim to be the captain of living frigates. Fixed an issue that caused the black market mining laser upgrades to have too few stat bonuses. Fixed an issue that caused the substance collection boost effect of the optical drill to affect all item collection, not just mining. Fixed an issue that caused substance collection across the game to be drastically reduced when the soul laser is installed in your current multi-tool. Hold on. Soul laser? Is that one of those black market mining laser upgrades? I've never heard of this soul laser before. Interesting. Fixed an issue affecting the first-person camera that could cause the exosuit backpack to become invisible in the inventory after getting in the starship. Fixed an issue that caused the Minotaur's Icarus fuel system to display an irrelevant fuel bar and not correctly report its upgrade stats when viewed in the inventory. Fixed an issue that could cause the Space Anomaly interior to remain visible and floating around the system after using its teleporter to warp to the space station in your current system. And lastly, fixed a number of instances where interactions would fail to correctly give rewards upon their successful completion. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the patch notes for No Man's Sky's Waypoint update. And I will say this, the bug fix list is getting significantly smaller. I remember it took me several minutes just to get through the bug fix list because there was just so much to read. But that didn't take long for bug fixes at all. And all the things that the Waypoint update has done for No Man's Sky has not only drastically improved the game, but also increased its longevity and replay value. Like I said before, I suggest No Man's Sky to people now because it has greatly improved over what it's done. I mean, it's improved significantly when it started creating these expansions, but it just keeps getting better and better, and it keeps improving the ways that people can enjoy this game even more. Once again, I suggest that people play No Man's Sky. Even if you're not like a survival space type person, this is a great game to play when you just want to chill. And this is the update they did to coincide with the Switch release. So the Switch release gets all the expansions that we see here, and we console users and PC users get the expansion today. I'm just thinking, this is all given to us. They're not asking us to buy any microtransactions. They're not asking us to pay for, they're not making this into paid DLC. This is all free. Matter of fact, an interview that Sean Murray was in recently says that he can't imagine putting microtransactions in the game at all. He can't imagine doing that. It just doesn't feel right to him. And I applaud this man because a lot of game companies, for some odd reason, seem to think that the only way for a game to move forward is if you nickel and dime players or dangle something useful that players could normally earn in-game in front of a paywall. And I applaud Hello Games, Sean Murray, and the No Man's Sky team for sticking with this mentality of it's not about the money, it's about making sure the players enjoy themselves and creating a fun, long-lasting game. And that's a good thing. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen, for my reaction and me going through the patch notes of No Man's Sky's Waypoint update. All I can say at the end of the day is, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then like, subscribe, and maybe even consider becoming a member because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples!